Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's tropical update. Tropical Storm Julia, as of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, October the 7th, has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 999 millibars, and is moving west at 18 miles per hour. Looking at the key messages for Tropical Storm Julia, Julia is forecast to strengthen into a hurricane by Saturday evening or Saturday night while it moves over the Southwestern Caribbean Sea, and a hurricane warning is in effect for portions of the Nicaragua coast and the offshore Colombian islands. Hurricane force winds and a dangerous storm surge are expected in areas where the core of the system crosses the islands and moves onshore in Nicaragua. Life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides are expected across portions of Central America this weekend. So if you're in Central America, especially between Nicaragua, Guatemala, uh, Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, and areas of Western Central America, you need to be preparing for life-threatening, dangerous flooding from Julia, because we're going to be seeing a whole lot of rain from this due to the mountainous terrain. Looking at the satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Julia is starting to look better organized on the satellite now. And we have a large blowup of deep thunderstorm convection around and to the southwest of the center in the last several hours. We still have a little bit of northerly shear on the east side of the system, but Julia is quickly moving out of any kind of wind shear whatsoever and will be in the perfect environment for rapid intensification for the next 24 to 48 hours until its landfall. Looking at the official Tropical Storm Julia intensity model guidance, all the models rapidly intensified Tropical Storm Julia to a strong tropical storm or a weak Category 1 hurricane in the next 12 to 36 hours before a landfall. And after that, weakens it as it moves over land areas. But it could, so I'm expecting it to rapidly intensify to a Category 1 hurricane before landfall. But there is an outside chance that Julia could explosively intensify. We could be looking at a Category 2 or 3 at landfall. And I would not rule that out at all, given the favorable oceanic and atmospheric conditions. In the next 24 hours, Julia is expected to move into the west-southwest Caribbean and is expected to make landfall in about 36 to 40 hours. In 48 hours, Julia is expected to be over central Nicaragua, and in the next 72 hours, Julia is expected to move between Honduras, Guatemala, and Belize, and then move into southeastern Mexico in the next 96 to 120 hours. Some models skirt the Gulf Coast, others take it into the eastern Pacific. So we're going to have to watch what Julia does after 3 days out, as there is model uncertainty of what Julia will do past 3 days. Looking at the official hurricane cone, Julia is expected to strengthen to a hurricane tomorrow night, right before landfall, and remain a tropical storm in Nicaragua, and weaken to a depression on Monday as it moves over southern Honduras. We have hurricane warnings in effect for the San Andreas Islands, as well as the central and northern Nicaragua coasts in the red, tropical storm warnings in the blue, hurricane watch in the pink, and a tropical storm watch across northeastern Honduras in the yellow. Looking at the European model, by around midnight Saturday or 1 a.m. Sunday Central Daylight Time, the European model has Julia making landfall as a strong tropical storm in east central Nicaragua. and moves it across Central America through the day Sunday and Monday, bring extremely heavy rain. And then looking at the GFS model, the GFS model rapidly strengthens Julia Saturday afternoon into a mid-grade tropical storm, and right before landfall, the GFS model strengthens Julia into a Category 1 hurricane right as it's making landfall in Nicaragua by, again, 1 a.m. Sunday Central Daylight Time. So both the GFS and European models are showing that Julia is going to make a landfall late Saturday and early Sunday morning around 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time Sunday morning, October the 9th. So make sure you've made your hurricane preparations if you live in Honduras and Nicaragua. And then the GFS brings a whole lot of heavy rain from Costa Rica through southeastern Mexico between Sunday and Tuesday as Julia slowly falls apart over Central America. Now let's take a look at these rainfall totals, because these rainfall totals are pretty concerning. Looking at the European model for rainfall totals, the European model is putting widespread totals of 5 to 10 inches of rain across Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, and even Belize, and about 3 to 8 inches across even areas of Costa Rica and Panama, with isolated locations receiving all the way up to 15 inches of rain in the mountainous terrain. So landslides are going to be a big problem, as well as flooding across almost all of Central America from Julia, regardless of how strong she is when she makes landfall. And looking at the GFS model for total rainfall accumulation, the GFS model is putting a similar amount of rain across almost all of Central America, with Honduras seeing about 4 to 10 inches, as well as Nicaragua, and then Belize is seeing about 6 to 10 inches, and then down towards Costa Rica about 4 to 8 inches, Panama 4 to 8 inches, as well as Guatemala anywhere from 3 to 10 inches. So make sure you are preparing for big-time life-threatening flash flooding if you live across Central America from Julia. So thanks for watching this evening's update on Tropical Storm Julia. I'll continue to update you guys on Julia over the next couple of days as she gets closer and closer to the Nicaragua coastline. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening, my friends.